Welcome to the Childcare Genius podcast, the world's leading authority on childcare marketing, mindset, expansion, and profitability. Each episode will feature interviews with the brightest minds in the childcare industry to guide you into becoming a smarter business leader. Our hosts have opened 10 schools while raising 5 children. They are certified business coaches and are the top-selling childcare business book authors of all time. This episode is sponsored by Childcare Genius Marketing. Let Childcare Genius Marketing help you get fully enrolled and fully staffed. Visit childcaregenius.com for more details. Let's welcome to the Childcare Genius podcast our hosts, Brian and Carol Duprey.
All right, so we're going to talk today about systems, having systems in your child care program. This is week 3. And first week we did mindset, then we did marketing. We're going to go into systems. And so it's important to have systems. If you ever want to have more than one location in your business, you got to have systems. We've opened 10 schools. It's important to have systems, isn't it?
It is important. And in every part of your life, not just your childcare, but
good point. And everything you do, you need to have a pattern or a manual or a system or something to duplicate. When you walk into a McDonald's anywhere in the world, I could promise you there'll be a Big Mac at every one of them. That's part of a system. There's a certain way they do the fries. There's a certain way they do the patties and the meat. They all order from the same places. So everything is duplicatable. Well, when you do your childcare, if you ever want to expand it, you have to create duplicatable systems that you can take from one system to another. And once you find those duplicatable systems, you could open 100 locations because you have the same system operating in, which is slight changes between the two. So the biggest thing is have a standard operating procedure, an SOP manual, or an ops manual, and have it where it could be edited, like in a Google Drive, right?
right. Yeah, we do ours in Google Drive.
Yep.
There's other systems that people use, but something where it can be edited and shared.
Yep, very important. And make sure that your team doesn't have edit access, that they could just view. Give edit access to the editors, but make sure your team just has view access for they don't get a chance to delete it. Make sure you have policies for everything. And as things happen, create a policy for it. Like, where do I start? Whatever happened today? We had a thunderstorm. Write a thunderstorm policy. Lightning strikes. Here's one of our policies. We get all the children off the playground immediately.
I was actually talking to someone about that just today.
Really?
About that we had a teacher spilled a cup of coffee. So we set a policy that if cups were in the room, first they're supposed to be out of kids' reach, but they had to have screw-on tops.
Screw on top.
They couldn't be tops. They couldn't be the takeout cups, and they couldn't be the one that just snap on.
Because a kid can get burned.
Exactly.
So good. And that as things happen, you develop a system for that. And that's where you start.
Because you can't see every possible scenario that could happen, and hindsight is 20/20.
Exactly. And it'll never be done. So you perfectionists who have to wait till it's perfect before sending it out to your team, this manual will never be complete.
Right.
It'll always be evolving and changing and on.
And always be welcome to input from your team.
Yes.
To make changes to your ops manual.
100%. Yeah, very good. Again, have policies for everything. And you definitely can't expand without these duplicatable systems. It's impossible to have a second location, have locations with different policies each. You really, unless you have 2 different brands,
it just creates chaos.
It does create chaos because you can't. The reason why it works so well in a multi-center to have systems is because you could have your substitutes working at any location. It's the same diaper changing policy. It's the same policy for going outside. Kid counts. Everything's the same at every location. That way your subs can be moving in and out of different locations without any problems. Make sure you have a parent engagement app. I know in this modern day and age, it seems silly for me to even mention it, but we do come across a lot of clients who don't have that investment yet. And we think it's important. That's a way to engage with the parents and then to see the children every day taking pictures. Just be careful of allowing too much communication, friendliness between teachers and parents. You might want to approve all communication from teachers to parents, especially if you have teachers that can't spell, as they represent you. And I've had directors who can't spell. So I had to proofread my directors who just were horrible at spelling. A lot of people get college degrees, they just could not spell.
Because
Everything's spell check
checked
now. Well, this person was older. You think well, not, but I mean, but anyway, it's very important if they represent you that the communication is good. So make sure as an owner, you're kind of checking the stuff that they represent you and your brand. Any communication with the parent, make sure that that's good. And the last thing is have a systems for payment. ACH is important nowadays because you save money. So, people like credit card to the points, but I've had clients with $50,000 a year bills for credit card fees that they don't pass on. And that's ridiculous. So you need to use ACH where possible and get your parents to do auto ACH. So it's automatic repetitive payment.
If your state allows you to pass on credit card fees, you can charge the parents to use credit cards. But if your state doesn't allow it, you can give a discount for ACH.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. That's a good way to do it as well. But definitely find a way to get automated in there. ACH will save a whole lot of money.
We just don't accept credit cards at all.
No, we don't take it
because our state doesn't allow us to pass on the fees, so we don't accept them.
Yeah, we never really have any pushback at all. No. So,
if you can't afford to pay your daycare bill and you need to do it on a credit card, you maybe need to take a budgeting class.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Yeah. And we're probably doing them a favor, making them actually pay for their childcare that way. All right, so that is it. And having systems, we think it's very important. We hope you got some information out of this, and I hope that helps. So we'll see you next week when we talk about operations. Well, thank you for tuning in to this episode. Before we go today, we want to remind you that tickets are still on sale. We have not sold out yet for our Childcare Genius Live Conference in Las Vegas, April 14th, 15th, and 16th at the Golden Nugget. That is in downtown Las Vegas. And tickets are on sale right now at childcaregenius.com. And we're excited to have you there. We're going to have over 500 exciting childcare owners and directors. There's 2 different experiences, one for owners in one room and one for directors in a completely different room. And it's the most advanced childcare conference in the world. You excited, Carol?
I am. It's going to be a great conference.
Yeah, we did it last year. We had over 300 last year. We're going to have over 500 this year, and it's going to be amazing. We had secured ticket room prices. We secured $75 room rate plus resort fee and tax, but that's an unheard of to go to a conference, childcare conference. You only have to pay $75 plus resort fee and tax for a room. You can afford to bring your whole team at that price. Absolutely. And of course, it's cheap to eat in Las Vegas too.
Yeah.
Some of these hotels you go to in, big cities like New York or Chicago, and they're paying $12 for a hamburger and, and $8 for a cup of coffee because you're stuck there. You can't go anywhere else. And here you got, the Vegas downtown. Things are cheap. Yeah. Steak and shake burger. $4.99 for a steak and shake burger and fries. So you can eat cheaply and, or you can eat expensive too. There's some nice restaurants.
Really good steakhouses.
But it's definitely much more affordable than going to most childcare conferences. And Vegas is fun.
It is fun.
And they have a good time. So we hope you'll consider coming to the most advanced childcare conference in the world. Every speaker is in the childcare industry. We don't put celebrities on who can't teach you how to do payroll in a childcare center. They might sell a few books, but we don't do that. We just put people on stage that have done what you wanted to do. And totally different than most childcare conferences. And Carol and I can't wait to meet you, and we'd love to have you there. So go to childcaregenius.com, go under the conference tab, and select Childcare Genius Live, and go ahead and get your tickets today. Book your rooms. This will sell out, and we're excited to say that. So this concludes this episode of the Childcare Genius podcast. Thank you so much for listening.
We'll see you next week. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss a future episode of the Childcare Genius podcast.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Childcare Genius podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please do us a favor and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a future episode. Don't forget to visit our website at childcaregenius.com to see a list of services we offer to help grow your childcare business. Until next time, thank you for being a part of the Childcare Genius community.